Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of African Black Say. You're watching MinaTv. Hi everybody, how you guys doing?
Hello. Hi Charlie, how you doing?
I'm fabulous, just taking this ride as MinaTv becomes more and more popular and people are getting to watch us. I'm excited.
So
right?
Exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Timani, what's going on over there? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm just feeling like an artist today, I'm feeling like I'm on my true self.
Yes.
Yeah. Timani, you're not hot?
Man's not hot.
It's a perspiration thing, right?
Perspiration thing. That's right.
Thanks you guys for joining us again. And today we are diving in. We're going to be real serious today. Okay? Yeah. Our topics today is, let's just dig in so the people will know exactly what we are talking about.
So the topic today, though, for at least the first topic, is Buhari sends troops to the east. So before I dive right into that, I need to set it up. So in Nigeria, there was a Biafra war from 1967 to 1970, and it impacted, we're both Nigerian, impacted our families because my family had to leave their farmland and go into Cameroon. So, and it killed over 1 million Nigerians, and it was a big thing. And it was the Nigerian government it was a war between Nigerian government and pretty much the Igbos, people who wanted the Biafra state. And then, since the war, ended, there's been a lot of conflict between Fulani herdsmen and Igbo farmers in the southeast. And the reason for that is, there's twofold. They're nomads and they travel around with cattle and they need land and they have violent skirmishes. So the most violent was in, I think, 2014, where the herdsmen killed 1,200 Igbo farmers.
Wow.
And it was a big thing. And so the thing is, the Nigerian government did nothing when they were killing all these people. So it's creating resentment. And so since for the past 4 years, Igbo farmers have felt under attack by the Fulani herdsmen and feel like President Buhari is not doing anything. And even the UN said, look, President Buhari, what are you doing to protect Nigerian people? Because we're all Nigerian. We're one Nigeria. So, and then President Buhari had said in the past that he is focused on the districts that voted for him, which are the Fulani. President Buhari is Fulani. So, okay, I set all that up. And then, so 19 months ago or 20 months ago, he arrested this British Nigerian citizen, Nnamdi Kanu. And he talks about Biafra.
Yeah, Nnamdi Kanu. It's called IPOB, Independent People of Biafra. So what Nnamdi is kind of preaching is that he wants to divide Nigeria. He wants the Igbos and the southeast to have their own country.
Exactly.
So we can be separate. So they can be separated from the northeast people who are kind of causing this
havoc.
Supposedly,
that's and so he's been preaching this. He had a radio show in UK. So when he came to Nigeria, he was arrested, had no trial, and essentially has now become a martyr. The government arrested him, Secret Service. As soon as he landed, he was arrested for speaking his mind. And you know how people are nowadays. So if you arrest someone for speaking their mind, then people are like, what are they saying? It gave him more power. So then when he was released, President Buhari has been feeling quite threatened by him because Nnamdi has been speaking
he's been championing the movement for the separation, for the rights of the people of the southeast, because unfortunately, or fortunately rather, people of the southeast have more natural resources. We're talking about the oil and every other thing, and now they want to separate from Nigeria. They want to be on their own because of the governance. The governance is not good enough for us. So that has been what has been on ground.
Exactly.
It's a huge issue.
And
very huge.
So then President Buhari, so he's been released from jail and as on bail. And as part of his bail, he wasn't supposed to do any public meetings or anything, which he completely, Nnamdi, violated.
He violated
so
it.
Then Buhari sends troops to Nnamdi's house in Abia State, surrounds his house. So people are like, what is going on? People are really scared right now.
He wants to re-arrest him?
He wanted to threaten him and show him a power, but that's not, he is causing, so now people are even because he made Nnamdi a martyr, because he made this guy a powerhouse, and now the president of the country sends troops to this guy's house, he's given this guy even a bigger platform. So now Igbos in the South are feeling bold, and what they're doing is Igbo youths are going around threatening
people, they're blocking roads,
Muslims,
they're killing people.
To send troops, that's
bad things are happening right now.
Exactly,
That's
and
so
people
dramatic.
are really scared. And
Yeah.
so actually, the reason that people are scared now is in June, the northern youths issued a call for Igbos to leave the north and go down
Totally.
south. Like, leave, we're going to kill you in October.
Before October 1st.
Yeah, before
So
October
do you guys
1st.
think it will help then if like all those different states have their own rules? I mean,
No, what
It's
it
a
needs to happen
country.
is one country. Buhari needs
but
to
it
make
works
sure.
here though. It works here
Yeah, American
because
system
there are
is
some
different.
American system
laws.
is different.
There are some I know, but there are some laws that are different. Like if you live in New York, there are
But
certain
the
things.
issue is that Nigerians and Igbos in the Southeast feel like the president of the country doesn't
not for
care
them, yeah.
about them because
Yeah.
the people around the world, even the UN, other governments have said, why aren't you protecting Nigerian people? He doesn't care. What he instead said, you know what? Fulani herdsmen are nomads, they're traveling all around, and how about you Igbos give up some land for them to stay? Are you
But,
serious?
okay, so where's
That's
he
not-
from? Where's
that's
the
not
president
possible.
from?
Fulani.
It's
Okay,
Fulani.
so the same thing kind of relates to Ghana presidents because most of them are also people view it as being tribalistic. They really
is
care
tribalistic.
for
Yeah,
people
people.
from their tribe, right?
No, but
Because
it's
Kashmirs.
one Nigeria.
It is one Nigeria.
Or he's
It-
going to start a war. This is how
Civil
wars
war,
start.
yeah.
We cannot, Nigeria is one of the most populous black countries in the entire world. We are trying to get better. We are trying to be engineers, doctors. So we are the best in other countries. We're trying to make Nigeria great. And now Buhari, because of his inaction, and he's doing all this high-handed stuff that was done in 1960s. And like, that's why you read history books, so you don't do this shit again. And now because of that, people are scared. And this is how civil wars break out.
Yeah, people are really scared now. People
can't
can't
have
even go
Nigeria
to
at
sleep
war.
with two eyes closed, especially in the
Exactly.
Southeast.
But why the farmers? Like I don't understand. Like farmers.
Oh, because okay, so Fulani herdsmen, they herd cattle. They're the largest nomads, I think, in Africa.
in Africa, yeah.
And so they herd cattle. So because of climate change, they've gone deeper and deeper into Nigeria. Before they were just in the north, but it's becoming more of a desert. So it's putting them in conflict with the farmers. And the farmers, so the Fulani are saying that the farmers are coming and stealing their cattle, which probably is true. And then the Fulani are saying, no, the Igbo farmers are like, no, they're coming here and raping us and killing us. So there's all these like conflicts, and it's just too much.
You know, we
much
do
for
have
us.
those in Ghana, the Fulani people in
Yeah,
Ghana too.
like,
they
They
cause
come
problems in
in-
Ghana.
Yes, they.
But
They keep moving.
They keep
from
moving,
what
they're
you're-
nomads.
So from what you're saying, it sounds like there's a lot going on in Nigeria.
There's a lot going
But
on.
the president doesn't care about the Igbo people.
That's what people feel like.
Okay. So what are the Igbo people doing about it? Like,
So what they're doing is pretty much, they're scared.
They're asking for their own
And
country
they're asking
now,
for their own country now.
which has always been the case
Yes.
from the time of Okadigbo and all those
Yeah.
other people.
so why not
But
give them their
now,
own country?
It's
No,
not easy.
you
It's
cannot.
not
No,
easy.
that would create
Because
division.
it's
not now.
It's
No,
not easy.
you
It's
can't
not something
divide.
that can just happen. It's going to be
It's
the
gonna set
political
back Nigeria.
hazard. It's going to be an economic hazard. It's going to be a
Yes.
hazard of all sorts.
Because you know
don't know.
Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa. So you guys are like, and it's the most populous black country. So all of these people, if you cannot divide a nation like this, there's this. It's like
We don't want to.
we
don't want
cannot.
division.
We cannot. We are trying to raise, and Africa has seen enough war. Period.
Yeah.
President Buhari needs to step up and challenge these Fulani herdsmen, and
know
then
what we
call it a
need?
day.
You know what we need? We need a new president.
Yeah.
That's what I was
We
going to
need a new
suggest.
president.
I feel like, I'm not Nigerian, but what I've been hearing about Buhari, he wasn't in the country for over 100 days. He just does not seem to be for the Nigerian people. He reminds me of Trump, kind of like he became president with his own agenda. He has his own agenda, his own thing, and he's only doing what's best for him and what's best for his people. And that's really not fair. It's rather unfortunate that the Fulanis are losing their land because of a weather issue, but that gives them no right to go and steal land from
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Exactly.
It gives them no right to hurt anyone else, and the president needs to do something about it. And then maybe what he needs to do is whatever little land that they do have, find a way to make that land better for them or make them switch jobs, because it's becoming apparent that the Fulanis do cause problems. I mean, not just in Nigeria.
But in Ghana and
that
Ivory
particular
Coast.
type.
Yes.
Exactly. So something needs to be done about it. And I guess just because he's Fulani, he's, he's sticking with them, but
we're in New Africa. We need to step away from tribalism. Like, it's just crazy.
It's crazy.
It really hurts
and
us.
other African countries should step in as well and and speak up and do what's best for the Igbo people and do what's best for Nigeria, I should say, because we are one Africa.
Definitely. Well, I agree. Our hopes and prayers goes out to Nigeria, and I hope everything.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's move on to a much lighter note. So the president of Ghana, President Nana Akufo Addo, basically made senior high school in Ghana free for all.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't hear
Wow.
this.
That's great.
Like
That was
all senior high schools, all of them, like even
Public.
Wesley
Public,
girls,
that's government schools.
public ones.
So not private.
Okay.
So basically, he made that promise when he was running. So that was one of his main. You know how Trump said he was going to build a wall, and it's still not done. But with President Akufo Addo, what he said he was going to do,
He actually did.
Did it? Yeah. In September, he made the announcement that senior high school is going to be free for all.
Wow.
So he said free senior high school will cover agriculture, vocational, technical, no school fees, library, like everything is covered for senior high school.
Wow.
So do you guys think it's a good, because people are really saying that, well, let me turn my question. People are really saying that making high school or senior high school free for all, most students won't take it serious. So what do you guys think about the whole?
I don't think that's true.
Well,
I think it's fabulous that he made it free because a lot of Africans, they put their kids in school. They suffer to have the money to put their kid in school. And I don't know, I just think this is a great initiative. I'm so happy that an African country is creating free education for its students. And those who take it seriously are going to take it seriously, period.
But I gotta say though, go ahead. No,
I like it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
I like it because I like the idea of free education, especially in Africa. I love that idea. Second reason why I don't like it is what happened to kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, like the rest of the grades. Because you do have to go through a lengthy, at least maybe 10 years of school before getting to senior high school. So what about the families that can't get through those? So I think if you're gonna make public schools free, I think you really should make it free from kindergarten going up to secondary school, my opinion.
No, I have to say though, in Ghana, when I used to be in Ghana, like junior high school, it was free. There are some education system in Ghana where it's free.
I've never heard of free.
You had never heard of Saito?
Saito is free?
Saito is free.
Saito you pay?
No, Saito is free. You pay for the books and all of that. But I think you pay for the books, but it's not free. People are still paying for it. Like people's tax are involved.
I've never heard of Saito.
Let's just be real.
Free.
Like the government is saying that they're gonna pay, which is basically
it's from taxpayers' money.
It's from
that's
taxpayers'
how
money.
it works.
But my
So it's like
question
over here.
But my question is, if you're gonna make senior high school free in Ghana, there has to be rules. There have to be rules. Like you cannot be above 21 and still be in high school, because I can't keep using my tax money.
There's no age restriction for education.
There's no
another-
age restriction for
another
college,
thing that I
but for
have-
senior high school, I can't keep using my tax to pay this one person that is in school for 10, 15 years. If you're not getting it the first year, you're not gonna get it the next 10
Who's
years.
saying that? No, don't preach that, bro.
The point that I'm not trying to be mean or anything. I promise y'all. My point is, tax money is still tax money. Like when I get my paycheck, the amount of tax they take out of my check is really high. So you can't keep taking out my tax money and keep using it on
the
same high. You know what I mean?
I understand you, but another issue that I even have is, from what I know, from what I recall going to school in Ghana, because I have gone to school in Ghana before, Saito is not good education at all. It's horrible.
It's not.
It's horrible. It's so horrible that even some people, the poor people, they find ways to take their kids to the private school. So my whole thing is, free school is good, but make it work, make it effective. It makes no sense to spend the taxpayers' money on something that is still ineffective.
Well, it all depends on the plan and the structure and the rules, because Ghana is not the first. Many developed countries are doing it. In Germany, education is free.
They have the budget.
But
Do you
they
think
have
Ghana has the budget?
Let me tell you, there's a way you control. Listen, there's a way you
Of course they
control
do. It's
something
what they
like
wanna
that,
spend it on.
right? For example, in Germany, education is free. You could even go to the medical school for free, but they have a quota. For example, 1,500 doctors will be medical students will be admitted in this year. So if you don't make that grade, you understand?
Yeah.
If you don't make that high grade, you ain't getting in.
That's another
So there's
thing,
a way they can control
that's
it.
another thing
To
that I
me,
was going to
free
get to
education is
too,
good.
is that another reason why some of the Saitos I think may not be good is because of Saito, anybody can go do whatever.
Exactly.
I feel like it should have, like, if you cannot keep a B average or
Exactly.
better,
You could still
you're
go to the
out.
school, but you pay. No, you out.
Or you go when you
You
pay.
pay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Or-
it's like,
You're out.
But you can't, as
If
you're
you don't
saying,
know it, you don't know it,
can't
you're
be in
out.
Saito and repeat class three times. If you repeat class 3 twice, cool. But you can't repeat class 3 twice, then go on and repeat class 4. It
Exactly.
goes back to the thing
You
you were
should
saying about
control-
age.
you
It's
repeat
pointless.
grades if your
We
grade is
do
not up.
repeat. We don't have free education, you know. But
And I see, and that's why I'm so impressed with Ghana, because I've seen the strain of paying for people, like paying for students, because we believe that education is the way forward. So if you can't afford it, then like it really puts a strain on your mental, your stress. Like I believe that free education is definitely the way forward for Africa. I definitely think that
I support that too.
like, how can you not?
But they should have
But they need to
a
be
structure, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
this, is
believe
what,
that.
and this is what the president
that.
said. He said, "I want every Ghanaian child to attend secondary school, not just to learn in books, but for the life experience of it." You know what I'm saying? Because
true.
That's a
there-
great point.
People
That is a
feel
good-
left
that's a very,
out
very
when
valid
everybody
point.
else is going to school.
But
and it's
also,
like,
that's how you develop social skills. Because even college, like I've been telling people, like college is really not about
Education.
Education.
Agreed.
It's about socializing
Yeah.
and getting to know people, and then
Yeah.
lots of learning. But you have to
Agreed.
And
be
you find a
responsible.
skill too.
I hope
Yes.
this works out and people really do take it serious and
I
then
do.
and not just because it's free, you know, you're like, oh, I'm not paying for it. So I hope this works out for them.
will.
But I like it. I like the idea of it. I'm all about it. I just think that it should be scrutinized well, and they need to check everything.
And pay the
what's going-
teachers.
Yeah, but that's
And
what I
pay
mean
the
by
teachers. Oh,
it
they don't
should
pay the
be
teachers?
effective.
No, to pay them more. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it should be
because-
effective.
yeah.
Like everything should be effective. It should make sense.
Yeah.
That's
Definitely.
that's
But
what
you
the
know,
main problem is.
You're president of Ghana. He's doing such great things. I've heard about. No,
How long has he
No,
been
he
president
is.
for?
We love him. I don't know if I'm gonna give him that much. I don't know if I'm gonna give
I mean, he
him.
just got in.
I'm not
in
gonna
power,
say
so
anything
we'll see.
bad, and I'm
It's
not gonna
new.
say anything good. I need to give him a little bit more time before I give him all the props.
Okay.
You
Kudos
know.
to you, Mr.
Yep.
President. All right, so let's move on to the next story. What's going on?
I wanted to say, Mr. President, wait on, sir.
Timaya.
So the third story is about one of Nigeria's popular dancehall star called Timaya. Who knows Timaya?
Timaya's a dancer?
Dance
your
hall
bum bum.
star.
Oh,
My girl,
dance
shake
hall.
her, your bum bum.
Yeah, shake her, your bum. They call
I
it
like
that
Timaya.
song.
I like
Yeah.
True Story. You guys should listen to it.
Yes,
Oh, I
it's a
don't know
true
that
story. So, in a recent interview, he told us something we have never heard before about him, and it got to me, though I haven't had that experience. He said while he was coming up as a young, promising artist, that he encountered a situation whereby he was molested by a rich lady in Port Harcourt. So he had to live with the lady, and she used him as a sex toy for a long time, just for him to be able to stay and feed. This was what he said. Can I just read it?
Yeah.
He
Go
said,
ahead.
I learned that to succeed in life, I had to stay passionate about my dreams, never settled for less, and keep working hard every day. Most importantly, I learned to believe that God makes everything possible in good time. I have been through a lot of things in life, and if I begin to share my story, you will be shocked. I was born into a fairly comfortable family, but I was a rebel and I often ran away from home. Last paragraph. I once lived in Port Harcourt with a woman who was older than me, and she used me like I was a sex toy. I had to survive. I had to service her whenever she had the urge in exchange for food and roof over my head.
Oh my
However,
goodness.
I have always dreamed big. Despite my travails, I never let go of my aspiration while believing that one day I would make it big.
What?
So what do you guys think about
I think
this
that's a
story?
lot of people's reality.
Where does it talk about him being molested? I'm confused.
You know, I feel like people don't have a
Excuse
strong
me.
grasp
When he
of
read,
English.
when he said the lady uses her every time she.
Him not have no choice.
What do you
It's
mean?
his choice. When she asks for whatever she asks for, he can either walk to the left,
No, no,
which
no,
is
no, no,
out,
no, no.
or walk to the right.
No.
He-
She
from the
used
story,
it she,
what
because
he
he was
says-
living with her,
Yeah.
right?
He chose to live with her.
he did choose. He
He's
said
a
He
child.
chooses
It's
to
a
live with her.
child. It's a
He was
child.
younger
How
then.
old was he?
I don't know how
was
old,
young.
but he
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 was,
was with
young.
his
he was
mother,
a teenager, I think.
his father,
No.
his auntie,
Okay.
his
Okay.
uncle, his sister, his mother's friend. What happened to sleeping on somebody's living room floor, sleeping on somebody's living room
Well,
couch?
that's what he was
wanna
doing.
live
He
in
was
a
sleeping
nice
on her
house.
living room, I'm sure.
He wants to
He
live
was
in a
sleeping in
nice
her bed.
house, have a car.
You're right.
Listen,
Okay, so if you do that, if you go in and be like, what happened to this? You had a choice. you are blaming the survivor. I'm going to call him a survivor.
He is not a victim.
Hold on.
He is not a victim.
Let me finish my point, please. Because he is not a victim. He's a survivor because he made it through this.
Now, wow.
It's funny. We take male molestation very, like it's
lightly.
Like it's funny.
We take it
it's
lightly.
not.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
According to
gigolo,
1 in 6 1 in 6 men do go through molestation. They do.
He wasn't molested.
He was molested.
He was a prostitute.
Yes.
That's all he was.
There is no
He was a
difference,
prostitute.
Charlie.
No.
Charlie, there is no difference between what he's doing
have to read
and
the
the
quote
young
again.
girls and the young girls
Who are
or other women
prostitutes.
who have rich sugar daddies,
Don't compare
rich
him
married
to
men. It's
molestation
the
victim.
same
He was a
thing.
bad- hold on,
He
hold
was
on.
not molested. You know what
was not
molestation
molested.
is? Do you know what
Can you
molestation
read
is?
the-
Molestation is when somebody touches you and you don't want them to touch you. When somebody does sexual things to you and you do not want it and you cannot speak up.
And he exchanged
had a
sex
choice.
for money,
His
for
choice was
clothes.
that I want to have big dreams. I want to do this. I want to do this,
Exactly.
and this is how I'm gonna get it.
Exactly.
Example: Cardi B's choice was I want to be famous. I want to do this. I want to take care of my family. I'm gonna go in a strip club and I'm gonna strip.
That's what, yeah.
Cardi could have chose to be somebody's sex slave. She could have chose to pimp herself. She could have chose so many other things. But she
That's not
chose
what
to
he's
work her
saying.
butt off. That
No.
is what he's saying.
That is actually what he
so
said.
he's living with this lady, right?
Yeah.
He's living with this lady.
He ran away from a comfortable home, probably with rules. He even said it was comfortable,
You
right?
know Tory Lanez? You know Tory Lanez, the
Yes.
singer?
Yeah.
Tory Lanez slept in cars.
There were times.
Sold his,
that he
his
probably
disc.
didn't want it. He didn't
Tor-
want to have
Tory
it.
Lanez
what
sold
you
his
guys are
dicks out
forgetting
of a
now?
car.
What you guys are forgetting to
T,
realize?
let me make my point.
Okay.
Tory Lanez, famous rapper now, slept in his car, stood at gas stations without a place to live, without a place to shower. Look at him now, because that's the route that he took to make it. Timaya took the easy way out,
thought she wanted to say
which is
T-Money.
this older lady.
I didn't sleep with nobody.
We know you sleep with everybody.
talk about- I
You
can't-
sleep with everybody.
Let me
You
ask
know
you a
that.
question. Let me ask you a
Skipping,
question.
throwing shades.
Was there times where he didn't want to do it?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to say. Like,
believe
But
you
he
guys.
always had a choice to leave.
Prostitute.
Oh, can you guys allow me land? You guys don't
Fine.
really have.
Make it land.
Okay.
Take your shots. Now we know you have to hit the goal.
You're
so go
judging
ahead.
Timaya, right?
No, I'm
that
not.
he
I'm
was a
judging him.
prostitute and what. This same Timaya we're talking about, there was a time he had to like face all these things you're talking about Tory Lanez. If he was comfortable, he would have made it through that route. But he didn't make it through that route. Timaya was still a hustler.
Was a
he
plantain
he went
seller.
to the streets, he sold plantain, he sold his CDs on the street like Alaba boys. He
did
sold
all of
them
that.
on his own.
Did all of
so
that,
if
yeah.
that woman was making life comfortable for him and he was happy about it, he would have used that route to be successful.
Yeah,
The lady-
and that's
But he
exactly
didn't
what
because
the
that
lady
wasn't what he
used-
wanted to do for the
The
rest of his
lady
life.
used her wealth or her
To
money
overshadow
to
him.
like to control him. If this was a girl right now, this conversation would be totally different.
No, it will
would
not
have
be
been totally
different.
different.
No, it would
Men-
not be
What did we say?
different.
We said he's a prostitute. That's what we said. What's the difference?
Listen,
No.
this is
'Cause
not sexual
prostitutes
molestation.
have-
okay.
He is
prostitutes
not
have
a
choices.
victim, and
He
yet,
was
and
living
he
with
had
this
a
lady,
choice,
and
and
in
he had a choice.
Please
He-
don't say this prostitute is a victim.
No, hold on. In order for the lady
Do you know-
to satisfy her urges, not him.
Do you know that? Do you know
That's
something?
the deal.
Alright.
Okay.
But
okay.
can you guys
no,
weigh?
for
Can
real.
you, can you weigh this thing on both sides?
No.
Like,
no,
let's be real.
No.
So-
Let's be real. Everything in life there is a cost to everything. There's nothing for free. If I wanted to be a prostitute, I could be spreading my legs,
Yeah.
prostituting, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to take that
This
route.
is why a lot of men don't come out to say their stories
No,
because
he's not molested.
Hold on, he comes out and he's telling you his story.
And this is
And
the direction
he's
you're
telling
taking. You're taking it from
he's
only one
telling
direction.
you, even though I didn't want it sometimes, this lady made me do it.
Did she
this
put
lady,
a gun to his head? Did she?
It
tell
doesn't.
He
They don't have to do that.
He can leave
And
and go back to his comfortable home.
He wasn't comfortable. He grew up in a poor family. It wasn't
Okay,
a
so he
comfortable
could've stayed over
situation.
there.
But I'm saying,
There are so many girls in Africa. I'm comparing him to any female that I've seen the story of.
Yeah.
There's so many women in Africa who are exchanging their body for money to pay for school fees, to do all these things. That's what it sounds like to me that he was doing.
Okay, so
and I'm
let's-
not saying that he was super comfortable. He probably hated it, but there is a deal to be made.
Hold on.
You want money
So this is the
with
code.
old
This is the
ladies,
code.
then sleep with them. That's what happens.
this is the code. I once lived with a woman who was older than me.
yes.
Hold on. Let's break this down.
Keyword lived.
Lived. Hold on.
Lived.
It doesn't matter.
Lived.
It doesn't
He chose
matter.
to live
Th-
there.
There are people that live with people for different reasons. For
Okay.
maid, or I want to come in and live with you because you live in the city and I want to make it in the city.
Or you
hold
could
on,
be
hold
a
on,
gates man
hold on,
or
hold on.
houseboy.
Older woman, and she used me like I was an intimate gadget. So
that's his side of the story, by the way, as well.
Yeah, but he's coming. So we basically having a discussion on
based on his side of the story.
It
There are
doesn't
two sides of every story. That's his side of the story.
Yeah, but we don't.
My point is, he never said I was forced to live. He says I lived.
Because that's
I once lived because
different,
he chose to live with the lady.
He was forced. Honestly,
he chose to live with the
let's
lady.
be
How
real.
you
Like,
call
Okay,
him as a vacant?
listen, you guys have a point with the
Forced.
because you need to read between the lines. You
Yes,
guys have a
he
point.
chose-
But have you guys ever put something in mind that Timaya is so successful now that he doesn't even have to tell a sorry story. So do you think he's lying? It's not necessary.
never
No,
said
they're not
that
saying
he
he's
was
lying.
lying.
They
Publicity.
just want to label
Lying.
him as a prostitute. That's not
what I'm
prostitution.
saying. So why do you guys
That
feel
what
like
he
we
went
want
through
to
is
bring
not
bring his
prostitution.
name down?
First of all, he never said I was molested in the thing. He's not saying that he was molested. You are saying that he was molested
He
from
was used as a sex
that
toy.
he
What
was
do you
used
call
as
that,
a
please?
sex toy.
In English.
That is a prostitution
That's
because
a
he did it
prostitute.
willingly. He
He
did
didn't
it
do
willingly.
it.
He's not a runaway slave. He's not a sex slave. He wasn't sold.
He wasn't sold.
forced.
Exactly.
He did it willingly. As a female, as a young, black, beautiful female, I've had several opportunities like this. That I could have been living large in mansions and everything, and I choose to live in a small, tiny two-bedroom apartment in New York City because I don't want to choose that
Let's look at
route.
the definition of molest. Molest, the first one is assault or abuse sexually. They said especially a woman or a child. Or two, pest or harass someone, typically in an aggressive, persistent manner.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say.
How can an old
he was
lady
more-
aggressively
Well, no, I mean, she
have
He
was,
sex
was
with
young.
Timaya?
It's not Timaya of now. It's not
You guys
Timaya
are-
of now.
You guys are not getting
You
this.
guys are not
Timaya
getting
was
it.
young.
It doesn't matter
Let's-
how young.
we've all-
Young
we've
men
all-
are stronger. Like any young man between 16
I'm
and
sorry to
25.
bring this up. I don't know if I can bring this up, right? But do you know that some kids are molested, right? Like you just read by elder, maybe maids or something. They do a lot of things with the kids,
All
right?
the
That's why parents
time.
decide to put
All the
cameras in their
time.
house.
Leave that.
So Ivy, my thing is,
some
Yes,
young
that
men
happens.
grow in homes like that, right? And they have that fear instilled in them that whenever an elderly lady comes upon them, they cannot resist. So they just feel like they have to respect that. So have you ever considered that psychologically that could also be a problem?
But
There's
why
so many
didn't he
sides of
share
the
that
story.
He didn't share that. He said he had a comfortable
Another question
home.
you should ask yourself is why is he sharing the story in the first place? He's not looking
wants
for
to inspire
publicity.
people.
Exactly, by telling you the truth. So
A
why are you judging
prostitute
him?
can inspire me. Yeah, he inspired me.
He's
What
not
are you
telling you that I became a gigolo. I was sleeping with different
That's
women
not a gigolo.
for money.
Gigolo is
That's a
different.
gigolo.
No.
I'm talking about like
Ivy.
Cardi B, for example, that song. I used to dance and now I don't have to.
Ivy, I think you guys are not reading this story. Look at you guys are not getting it. Little boys and girls. Little boys.
How little is he?
Okay, so little.
I'm done with this
Was
story.
he?
Hold
He's
on,
not
I'm
a
not
victim,
done.
he's
I'm not
a
done.
molested. I'm done.
Little boys get
He
molested
chose
all
it.
the time. They do.
I
They get
believe that.
introduced
Yeah.
to sex by females and males all the time.
Older
But we
than
don't
them.
get to talk about it. And I'm really proud of him to come out to talk about it. How many times have we seen movies where a maid will live with a rich man and the rich man will be having sex with the girl, but the girl can't do anything about it? You can leave.
Then you
don't
call
tell
that
me.
prostitute?
Don't tell me you have a choice to leave. You can't leave because
Will you call that girl
it's not a
prostitute?
That
different-
girl is a maid. He
Hold
took
on.
advantage of her. He said he lived with an old lady for money and food. He's
Yes.
a prostitute.
Yeah, what is a maid living?
Did he work for
Excuse
her?
me. What is the maid living in the house for? For shelter, for food,
The
for,
maid is
for
living
protection.
and working and cleaning. He has a role. He
What is
had
it-
no
what is it-
role with this old
what
lady
is-
other
what is-
than
what
have
is-
sex
what
with
is-
her.
what is he getting paid for? With?
Sex.
No, the
getting-
maid.
the
is
maid is getting paid with money.
No, they don't get paid with money.
Yes, makes
most
sense.
most
Education.
males,
Shelter,
most
food.
males get paid with shelter, food, and all of that.
And money.
And money.
And
actually,
Timaya lived with the
money and
lady.
Timaya, not
education.
Timani.
Timaya lived
didn't
with
live with any lady.
Timaya lived with the lady. Listen, Timaya lived with the lady, right? For a benefit, and the benefit was what? For food and stuff like that. The consequences of that shouldn't be
That
I'm
he's a
touching your
prostitute.
balls.
No.
That should not be the consequences
Charlie.
of it.
He
So
exchanged his own
He didn't-
sex willingly
Hey,
with
listen.
money and shelter.
So no,
Listen.
no.
A man has a role. A gay man has a role. If he was even said I was a gay man and was molested, I would believe him.
Yeah.
And I would understand. But this guy just exchanged sex for money.
We
and
don't
he
know the
did it.
relationship.
If it was a female actress, singer, or anything, and
People say
even
she's a
and
gold
she
digger.
went to Dubai and she just took pictures in a nice hotel or anything, right away she's prostituting. But this guy is choosing to go live with an old woman and for shelter
something, yes,
and
for
for other
food,
things, and then
yes.
she's having sex with him, and now
That's
he was
not his fault.
molested.
That's not his fault.
He exchanged.
No,
sex
it's not
for
an
food.
exchange. It's not an exchange.
Okay,
That's the
so
oldest
this-
thing in the
Who do you know in their right mind if they have no other choices, right?
Push to the
Hold
wall.
on, hold on. Who do you know that have no other choices, want to be touched when they don't want to be touched for food? When they don't want to be touched for food. It's different if you want.
family. He's not some homeless.
People with families get molested all the time.
Charlie.
People with
This
families
is an
get
old woman
molested
that he
all the
had.
time.
He was a prostitute for this woman. I understand.
I'm personally glad that he shared this story,
Yeah, it's a great
and
story.
it's gonna
inspirational.
inspire other people.
It's
But it's not his
inspirational
fault.
because
He's not a prostitute.
Are you
Prostitution
guys
is way
inspired?
different.
It's inspirational.
No, be
because-
honest. Because
To be honest,
are you
no,
inspired?
it
It is because you know what?
Look at where he is now.
You have
By
to.
But it's not
himself,
because
not
of
by
that.
that woman.
He got there because
I
of his
didn't say
talent.
it was the woman.
But you're making it look like he made some money from that, and then
It
was a means to an end.
One
It was
money
not
can
a
be
means
made
to any
from
end.
some
Yes,
girl
it was.
touching you.
To get food and housing
as
and
at
money.
that time he was pushed to the wall. I'm sure he had no option. He had no choice. You
He
guys are making
te-
it seem like he made an offer to her.
He didn't
Let
want
me
to
sleep with
basing
you
it
so
on-
I can stay in your
How
house.
you
That's
know
not what
he
he
didn't?
said.
You have
Because that's
to-
not what he
He said,
said.
I live with an older woman for sex and money. That's what he said.
You live in New York, and I call you, Ivy. I want to come live with you because I want to be an
I have a place to
entertainer,
stay.
and I want to come to New York, and I don't have a place to stay. So can you please give me 2 months where I stay with you, and then you provide me with a house, with a room, right? And then one day I'm chilling in the room that you provide me. You come in, start touching me.
What
Even
you
though-
gonna do?
hold on,
It's
hold
cold.
on. It's not about what you're gonna do. Listen, in situations like that, you cannot blame what I should have done. What she should do is not to come to my room and touch me. That's what she
there's
should do.
nothing wrong with her doing that.
No.
There's nothing wrong.
Maybe she's
Excuse me, you
attracted
guys
to
hear
you.
this?
No,
Then that's
there's
what that
nothing
woman. Do you know what?
wrong.
That's how it
Excuse me,
started.
There's
wait,
nothing.
wait.
If you're living under my roof, right? If you're living under my roof, right?
There's nothing wrong
And
with
I'm
that,
doing
yeah.
everything for you, and I come in and I touch you. If you don't like it, you tell me to stop. I can't rape you.
Why are you coming
I
in to
can't
touch me anyway?
Okay, because maybe I like you. Maybe I've been sexually attracted to you all
he
the
was probably
time.
younger than 18.
It
That's
doesn't
even
matter.
illegal
Oh,
anyways.
okay.
That's nasty anyways.
Okay, well, it doesn't say the age and all of that, so we can't assume that he was
young.
Under, he was young, but
If
we
I-
can't just assume
Yazzie,
he was under 16.
I dare you to touch me if I come live in your house.
Okay, exactly.
No,
exactly.
no.
Okay, right now, are you underage? No, you're not. If you come live in your house, in my house,
BC.
and I touch you,
Why are you touching me?
Exactly,
Problem.
exactly. And then I'm never gonna touch you. But if you lay there and you take it, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna keep touching you.
No, but it
And
doesn't
that
mean I
means
like
you
it. No, it doesn't mean I like it.
Okay, so get out and go stay back at your mother's house, or go stay at your sister's house,
All
or your
right,
brother's house.
we are going to disagree.
Did you
Agree
see
to
that?
disagree because I cannot. For you to think
Yeah.
that just because I'm not saying anything, you have the power over me. I'm
How do I have
afraid.
power over
I'm
you?
afraid if I say something, you're gonna kick me out,
I am
and then I'm
never-
gonna start living in the streets.
Okay, yeah. So
So
I'll
I'll
live in the
shut up
streets.
and I'll take it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean
That's
I'm
your
a prostitute.
choice,
But
too,
it
though.
doesn't make you a but it doesn't mean that
You
you
are
were molested.
molester.
No,
No,
that
you are
means you
molester.
liked it.
For
That
example-
means that you liked it.
No,
even,
it doesn't mean
even,
that you
even
like
when I'm in
it.
bed, even if I'm in bed with my boyfriend, even if I'm in bed with my boyfriend or my husband, and I've already had sexual encounters with him, blah blah blah, whatever. If I don't want him to touch me, I'm gonna tell him don't touch me. If he keeps touching me, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna get out of the bed and I'm gonna leave.
It's not the
I'm
same
gonna
case.
stay
That's
here.
your
It is the same
boyfriend.
case.
It's not
It
the same
doesn't
thing.
matter. It
not the
doesn't
same.
matter.
If a maid, hold on, if a maid is living with you,
But he's not a maid. That's
He's
what I'm
li-
saying. He's not a gay man. He's not a maid.
but he's living with her
So
because of something
he's
for
not.
roof
Is
and
she?
food.
Is she his mother? Is she his grandmother? Is she
So
has
just
power
because
over
she's
him?
not all of that, that's
Exactly.
Can I say something?
Then don't live with
Do you
a
know-
strange
do you-
woman.
do
Are
you
you
know what this
serious?
all explains
Like,
to
this
me?
is so irritating.
No, do you know what this all explains to me?
No.
It explains to me that experience really matters. You guys have never been in tough situations, so you won't
Oh,
understand.
I've been in
you.
tough situations.
I don't
you
mean
don't know.
that
I've
kind
been.
of situation. I've never
Trust
been
me.
in
I
that
have been in
situation,
tough
But listen to me,
situations.
You
sometimes-
haven't been in that situation,
I
but
haven't.
you.
But I
You-
understand.
I'm not saying anything
I
wrong
haven't
with his
experienced it,
behavior.
but I
all right, we
understand.
gotta go. We gotta go. We
I'm
have to
saying
move.
he's a
We have
prostitute.
we have to
He
move
is a
on.
prostitute, and I'm with you.
Let's agree to disagree about this because I truly believe that unless he was actually like if you go into someone's house and you don't have a set role, if this person is not your relative, what do you think they're there for? Like, let's be honest. We're in Africa. We're just human beings. Like, he wasn't a maid. He didn't say he was a gay man. Now, if he said he was a gay man and said this woman forced herself on me, I had nothing else to do, now that's a different story. Or if he said I was a maid for her, or I was a driver, okay. But he went to live with a woman that is not related to him, and what did he think that she was going to charge for?
Okay.
Everything in
All right.
life costs
So if
something.
I call you to come in and live with you, and that agreement hasn't been made, we did not make that agreement before I moved in. We did not make that agreement for you to touch me and for me to get food from you. That wasn't part of the agreement. I live with you. You gave me room and board. We've been living, quite for some time now. And now you're checking me out. Every time I'm coming from the bathroom, you're checking me out and stuff like that. And then you come to my room and start touching me that's a problem. Because that wasn't part of the negotiation to begin with.
Okay.
That would have made a difference between the prostitute and what he went through. A prostitute make up their mind.
Charlie,
Hold on, it's an act of practice where somebody engaged in those acts for money.
Willfully.
He didn't. Thank you. He didn't go in there looking for it.
But
he
the
didn't
point
go
of
in
the
there
matter,
looking
Charlie,
for that.
Charlie,
and that's the
even-
problem I have.
Even if she's wrong taking advantage of him, I get what you're saying,
She's
that she
wrong.
took advantage.
That
She's not all the way wrong.
She took advantage.
She's not all the way wrong because, as you said, everything in life costs a price. Even these
Exactly.
days, even a relationship with your man, he's with you for a reason, you're with him for a reason. You said something on an episode where I said I felt like I was financially abused. And you said something, and ever since you said that, then it stuck out in my head. You said, no, Yazzie, you weren't financially abused.
What you were scammed.
No, you said that in a relationship, everybody's in it for some reason. You said, Yazzie, you were in that relationship because he treated you well. And he was in that relationship for your money, right? So everything has a cost. So if you're staying in my house and I'm sexually attracted to you and I try, yeah, maybe it's inappropriate for me to jump on you, but it's not all the way wrong. It's not all the way wrong. I'm horny.
Okay,
And
okay.
you're here. So
Yazzie.
what he should have said was
I'm
no.
horny and
It's not a
you are
deal.
here.
Deal.
You're
It's not a
horny, I'm
deal.
attracted to you.
You are
It's a
horny
deal.
and I'm here. I
You're a
cannot
deal.
believe.
So
No.
Charlie, let me ask
You're horny. You need to get the fuck out of the house and go and do something else
You
with
need to
somebody
get the
else.
fuck out of my house. That's what you need to do.
Charlie,
Everything has a
let me ask
price.
you something, Charlie. If right now I'm under 30, nice, beautiful young girl, and I need a place to stay, and my dad's friend, or no, I won't even say my dad's friend, an older guy, who's single and he's like 45, comes to stay with me, says to come and stay with him. In the back of my head, do you think I'm gonna go? I'm not even gonna go because I already know where it's gonna lead to. How am I gonna live in the house? He's gonna eventually get attracted to me. Eventually, he's gonna have feelings. It's
What is the
natural.
point of-
Okay, but can I ask you a
what
question,
can I offer
Yazzie?
him?
Yazzie, can I
It'd
ask
be
you a question?
inappropriate, but it's life.
If you're faced with a very tight condition, right, you're on the streets, and that same uncle asks you to come, and maybe you decide to risk it, and in 2 months, 3 months, nothing happens. The 4th month, he comes to your room, he takes advantage of you, and you know.
I wouldn't let him take advantage of me.
Listen, we are
Sometimes
human beings. Don't
I
be so
wouldn't.
accurate.
wouldn't.
Listen,
Listen,
don't be so
Okay, listen,
accurate.
no, T-Money.
Can I finish?
T-Money.
Don't be so accurate.
T-Money.
You
If it
never
went
can
down,
tell. You're not
T-Money.
God. Anything
T-Money.
can happen.
T-Money. If it went down, then I was raped.
Can I get to my point?
Yeah, okay, get to your point.
So he takes advantage of you.
He rapes me because I wouldn't let him sleep
He
with me, so
rapes
he
you,
rapes me.
rapes
Okay.
you 1, rapes you 2, rapes you
He
3.
wouldn't rape me
I'm
twice
just
and
saying,
3.
oh God, can I make
But
a
keep
point?
going, okay.
You know there are
Jesus
women that are
Christ.
stronger than you that have been through this,
Forget
right?
about the energy. I'm not talking about the energy. I'm making a point. If that happens, does that make you a prostitute? So why are you guys calling Timaya a prostitute?
Because of course it makes me a prostitute because as I am saying.
How? How does it make you a prostitute? Did you do it willfully?
T-Money, listen.
Hey.
T-Money, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying
so
that.
confused.
Listen to what I'm saying. You guys are not listening. Just listen. Don't listen to reply. Listen to understand me. What I am saying is, if it went down, then it would have meant that he raped me because I would not allow him to just sleep with me. And after he rapes me once, I'm not going to keep staying there. And if I keep staying there, then I know what time it is. I'm staying here. This guy wants to sleep with me. And because I like living in a big house or driving a nice car and having great food to eat, fuck, I'll have sex with
You
him.
come to a crossroad in your life where when you keep staying
You
there,
don't know.
hold
Okay.
on, I'm let you finish. And you come to a crossroad in your life, and when you get in a situation like this and you keep staying there, it does not mean that you are enjoying what is going on.
That's fine.
Hold on.
But
hold
does that
on,
make you a
hold
prostitute?
on, hold on.
Yes, it does, because I know the deal.
Hold on. It doesn't mean that you enjoy what's going on. It means that you are stuck at this crossroad where you don't know what to do. People are victims and survivors in this thing where they don't know what to do. So they stay in this situation.
And they get
You
to a
just showed
point,
your eyes at me.
and they also,
They
they
stay
also
in this
get to an
situation.
epiphany where they have to leave.
Where they have to leave.
Timaya did not tell you to leave there for
just
5
because-
years.
Just
Listen,
because,
let me
hold on,
tell-
just because they didn't leave the first time when it
It
happened,
doesn't make them
or
a
the second time
prostitute.
when it happened, it doesn't mean they were prostitute or they weren't strong enough. Listen, it's not an easy situation. It's not.
Let me tell you, I know a
She's
girl.
not a prostitute.
Do you
I
think
know
He
a
is
girl.
not a prostitute.
I know
He
a
was not a
girl.
prostitute.
I know a girl who got in a relationship with a guy. The guy moved her from the Bronx, New York to the Hamptons. If anybody knows anything about the Hamptons, I mean, that's the lifestyle of the rich and the famous. I'm talking about Shorty lived in like a mansion, pool, tennis court, basketball court. He bought her a Bentley, a G-Wagon, all of that. And then the guy started beating her. I mean, I'm talking about beating her, and she's my friend. And I would go to her and I would be like, listen, you need to get out of this. This is not good for you, blah, blah, blah. You know what she said to me? She said, yes, I never want to go back to the Bronx. I'm going to stay here. I know it's wrong, blah, 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 but I never want to go back to the Bronx. I said, I live in the Bronx. What's wrong with living in the Bronx? She said, I never. After everything that I've seen, I never want to go. I'm just going to deal with it. I'm going to try to, you know, the money that he gives me, I'm going to try to get it all together, and I'm going to get out of that situation. Ever since I had that talk with her, he beat her to the point where she ended up in the hospital and anything. I didn't even care. And it's not that I didn't care because I don't care about her. You chose that situation. You knew. Everybody told you. Your mother, everybody told you. You chose a Bentley. You're telling me that a Bentley and a G-Wagon and a house in the Hamptons is more important to you than your life? Then I shouldn't even be friends with you, and I don't even talk to her no more because you don't value your life. I don't care where I live at as long as I have a peaceful mind. I don't care. It could be in the worst neighborhood, whatever. I know I'm safe. I know I'm peace. That's what I'm going to do. So it all matters what's your priority, and that's the problem with our generation. If your priority is living in a nice house and this, then you're going to stay there. You're going to keep sleeping with a woman, and you're okay with it. You know what time it is. She knew what time it is. She knew all those shopping trips to Gucci and all those going to Greece, Santorini, getting on big boats. That's the lifestyle she chose. So she might have looked great in the looking classy and fabulous, but now emotionally you're messed up, and now he's then moved on to the younger thing and left you anyway, and now you're back in the Bronx without a choice. Anyway.
But most,
so is she a victim?
No, I feel like.
Is my friend a victim?
She's not a victim.
Hold on. Timaya is not a victim.
That one is different.
It's the same situation.
It's not the same situation.
Please don't not a victim.
No, don't. Let me tell you why.
You know why? She had options. You said friend, family, everybody wanted to take her.
Hold on, come back.
How do you know?
He said he had family. He said comfortable family. You read that.
Are you not hearing rebel kicked out of the house? Are you listening?
You're not listening.
Go back into your knees.
He was
and pray for your parents.
So a rebel means that he was misbehaving. He was probably smoking weed. He was probably drinking. He was probably running around with the wrong crowd. Probably breaking into cars. Of course, I have a kid, and if my kid is acting like that, yes, you're gonna get up out of my house. Nobody wants to invest. You know how much money you invest in your child from the day they're born, and then your child turns 18, 19, and you want to act like that? Yes, get out of my house.
All right, so back to Timani lived in with this lady, Timaya. I'm sorry, Timaya. Timaya lived.
I'm sorry, Timaya.
Timaya lived with this woman, not agreeing to those things. You know what I mean? Like, he lived with this lady for food and shelter because what? I have been kicked out of my house. That is the only reason why I'm coming. And you agree to it. You agree to the fact that I'm living in your house and you're going to give me food and shelter. That was the only agreement. Now, fast forward to months and days, you're coming into my room and touching me. And just because I'm not moving out, doesn't mean that I want it. Just because I'm not moving out, it is inappropriate.
And you moved out
But it's not
eventually.
so wrong. But it's not so wrong. It's not so
definitely wrong.
It's definitely wrong. Please don't say it's not wrong for her to come to the house.
Charlie, right? Charlie, look, you could not be my cup of tea at all. As in, like, when I saw you walking down the street, I'm not attracted to you.
Okay.
But since we're on set every day, we come to work every day, I might start looking at you and be like, oh, wow.
So
Hold on a second. I might start looking at you and be like, oh, wow, Charlie's cute. Oh, wow, do you see what Charlie had on today? So if I start growing feelings for you and I act on those feelings.
No, you don't act on those feelings. As a normal human being with a sense, what you do is you come to me and you tell me, Charles, I have feelings for you. Hold on.
Rational.
Well, then who should we blame? We should blame the woman for not being rational.
You should blame Timaya for not knowing what situation he was living in. You can't just get up and go live with somebody.
If you like another normal human being, you go up to them and you talk. You agree, yes. You don't agree, I don't bother you. But you don't use some ways, means, or form to come and touch me just because I'm leaving your house. It doesn't guarantee that at all.
We're going to agree to disagree on this topic. You believe Timaya was a victim.
Here we go again, telling me what I believe. What I'm saying is,
that's what you're saying. You're saying he was a victim.
So let me say.
Okay.
He's a survivor to me because now he's doing
He's a
great
survivor.
things.
Yeah, he's a survivor. So he was a victim in the situation, right?
I'll still call him a survivor out of it. I don't
He's
like
a survivor now, but then he was a victim.
He went through something. I don't want to use the victim word.
He definitely went
but
through
the thing
a rough
is,
time, and I definitely believe that.
Yes.
But let's not, I just don't want you to put him in the same circle of people who are actually molested. They were adopted as foster kids. I feel like you have to have some dominion of control. You have to be looking up like a parental figure, an uncle, somebody who's related to you, or an older person while you're living in your parents' home. This guy, he was a rebel, ran away from home, had a bad experience with an older woman and exchanging sex for food and housing.
That's not what happened.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
What did he get? Why did he allow this woman to use him like a sex toy? Or why did this woman? Okay, let's not allow. Let me take that back. why did this woman use him as a sex toy, and why did he stay in the house?
The woman
he left
used,
eventually, no?
Yeah.
But I know he left eventually. Everything changes.
Hold on. The reason why the woman used him as a sex toy because he was available in the house late at night.
Okay.
You walked in and you did that.
What
the
was his
reason
role
why
in the
he
house?
stayed.
What was his role in the
He
house?
needed shelter.
But what was his role
It
in
doesn't.
the house?
There shouldn't be a role. There shouldn't be a role. Does it matter?
Yes, it does. Because
No, it doesn't
yes,
matter.
It does.
If
I moved in with somebody and they're not my family or friend, then what is the point? What is the relationship?
So people can, like, if I call you Ivy and I'm saying, Ivy, I'm coming to Nigeria. I don't know anybody in Nigeria. Can you give me somewhere to stay? And you agreed to give me a place to stay. You didn't tell me, oh, when you come in.
I know you, Abby.
Hold on. Hold on. And then if I come to your house and you agree to let me stay while I'm in Nigeria chilling, and just because I'm not sweeping the compound, don't tell me because I don't have any role, I deserve to be touched.
That's the role. But this guy, why is a young person friends with an older woman that's not a teacher?
No, you don't know, John.
That's not a
but
teacher.
I'm saying that's not a teacher.
We have every dimension to the story. Like, people meet in different ways. Like, it's possible she met him in the street and picked him up and put him in the car.
I had older friends.
So you never know.
I had older people friends.
Charlie, if you stayed in their house, they would have sex with you.
And would that be my problem? Would that be my fault?
I'm not saying it's not your fault, but if you keep on continuing to stay in the house,
well, he left
then
eventually.
You're exchanging prostitute. Let me tell you what the definition of prostitute is.
No.
I
It's
give
giving
you
sex in exchange for something.
money.
It could be anything. It doesn't have to be for money. It could be for designer stuff. It could be for bags.
Do we have to agree on it?
We don't have to verbally agree on it. It's common sense now. We don't have to. It's a language sometimes that cannot even be spoken. Like, I know what time it is. You know what time it is.
But if you keep coming and if you keep coming to me,
in my own
you have a
house.
power over me, and the power is you could kick me out if I say no.
But that's life, Charlie.
Charlie, if you go to dinner with a girl, right, and she takes you to eat $1,000 dinner.
They don't exchange stuff for stuff. Anything I've ever gotten in my whole life, I've exchanged something for something.
So can I make
like,
a sentence?
I'm so confused.
Can I make 2 sentences from this?
Please.
If, like what is reading here, he said, I had to live with a woman when I was young, and she used me for sex, as a sex toy in exchange for food and shelter. What is that called?
If his parents sold him.
No, if. I just made the sentence. She used me as a sex toy in exchange for food and shelter.
That's a prostitute.
What is that called?
It's prostitution.
It's a child prostitution.
She used me. Then
Okay,
the second
that's
one
his words.
Yeah, that's his word. And the second one is I had to live with a woman, and I offered her, or I gave her sex in return for food and shelter.
Those are two different things.
Are they the same thing?
One is used. One, you use me, you force me, you use me.
And the reason why it's the same thing, let's not act like, this is not 50 Shades of Grey. Life, it's black and white. And we all know that to every story there are 2 sides. Right now, we only hearing his side of the story where he is saying that he was used. Maybe he felt used.
He was used.
Just like how I feel like I was financially abused. So that's his side of the story. And there's 2 sides to every story. So we can't just go by from what he's saying. But even from what he's saying is that she used me and you still kept staying there. As I was saying, the first time it happened, that's when I would have been out and I would have been sleeping at a gas station floor. Simple.
And then someone else will pick you up again, take you to the house, and use you. You don't know how he met her, though. So
it's more dangerous too. You think
he
could have died living in the street. Like, come on, let's be real.
He could have died being raped by her.
He could have died.
And he could have died by rape. And if he was a young boy, he could have he could have had a heart attack from the
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
he could have died. But we are so. Even though we agree to disagree, I think we can conclude by saying we are glad that he brought this story out.
Yeah,
definitely, and we hope that it can inspire other people
in that situation to get out, and make people realize that anytime you're exchanging sex for something, it is a form of prostitution. No matter what, it doesn't have to be for money. It is still a form of prostitution.
Definitely. So and if you have more details, just let us know in the comments. Thank you guys so much. This was heated, but I love you guys for having this conversation.
It's heated, but man's not hot.
Yes, definitely. You're watching MinaTv. This is African Black Say.
Bye.
We have one more time.
Thanks for watching. And if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.